Actually, just to explain it, we had a request to place the change in the practical exam on the schedule today to be discussed. And so there was one minor change in our practical on the cosmetology practical on the head, which was cutting one section of hair. Now, Ms. Kiwan will go through it with you. And the board decided that we should do a different cut. And so I'm going to let Kiwan just explain it to you. She also has a video that's 5 minutes if we can see it. I'm not sure anybody could see it, but we might do it. Kiwan, why don't you go through it with them? Just explain it to them.
Before I attempt to go through it, I do hope you asked to have it put on the agenda, correct? What was it specifically that you?
I think our questions were mainly just when is it going to go into effect? Just because we received the memo that students beginning school by September would be testing this way. And then also we were told that we would be training, having some sort of like in-person training at the board before the end of 23. And so that hasn't happened. So I'm just receiving lots of questions from students and other people wanting to know, when that's going to happen so they can, of course, start preparing their students and such.
We ran into some issues. The video is done. If you guys still need to see what it is that I was talking about, I can show you the video. We do have it set up to show. We did the video, and then the next step was to implement the paperwork changes. In front of you, you'll see the score sheet. The issue that the staff has with the score sheet is that you can pass before you ever actually pick up the scissors to cut. On the first one, it says that you have to have it wrapped correctly, right? Well, there's no way to ensure that the person who's testing actually did the rolling, okay? The second one, so you got 5 points for that, even if your cousin rolled it for you, right? Then the next one says you have to remove the rods. Well, you're gonna get a whole 5 points for taking the rollers out. So at this point, you have halfway passed the test, okay? And then the last one is to wrap the hair around your finger with minimum tension. So if you can execute these 3 things, you've passed already before you ever even pick up the scissors. That's a problem.
And so is there a way to, I've witnessed testing as well, and I think Jennifer and I were having a conversation earlier. There's several people in there at a time, so how are they going to witness everybody wrapping
that
around
is an
their
issue as
finger
well
at the same time?
It was an incomplete process. We did what we were told when we sent out that memo.
Okay.
We were told to send out the memo with a date saying XYZ, and that's what we did.
Right.
I think the intention was to have it ready. That didn't happen.
Gotcha.
And I don't know if you guys have seen the actual, it's not.
We've seen it.
Okay.
Like we could all pass that. I don't cut hair.
Well, and that, because the video was posted before we were told anything, honestly. I saw the video before I ever knew anything. But
Wow.
I think, so maybe this is something we can maybe talk about. I think it,
Yes.
like you said, had good intentions. I think that something with textured hair absolutely could be beneficial or will be beneficial to be added to the testing, whether or not, and no disrespect to whoever worked really hard coming up with this, but I think that we could maybe come up with a little something better. That's just my opinion, sorry.
Agreed.
And again, I know people worked really hard for it, and no disrespect to those, whoever those people are.
There could be a better way to execute it, definitely.
So if maybe we could like pull that video down and maybe like put out a like pause on it.
Consider it done.
Thank you.
So we will just continue with the regular testing.
Yes.
Are you able to make just that one bullet point mandatory? You have to pass that?
Well, that's what this was.
Just forget it happened.
But,
It happened.
I was there.